Hey, welcome to the Man Cave. My name is Adam Mann, and it's a great day to be alive. Today is the start of the year. It is January 1st, 2020, and I am starting over on my channel. And I thought the start of the year would be the perfect time to get things going. So, day one, here I am, New Year's Day. And I'm broadcasting from the room that I've probably spent most of my time in. This is my childhood home, my parents' house. Then you can see right behind me that there's a lot of cool stuff. From Little League trophies on the wall, that's my guitar. And then I got posters on the wall. And even a paddle from my college fraternity. But you can see that the room is blue. Blue used to be my favorite color, but it's kind of funny because over time I've gotten a preference to black and even red. But blue seemed like the color that resonated with me the most growing up. So the room is blue. And the channel kind of over time became black and white. So, funny how things change over time. And I got thinking to what it was like growing up because, on holidays or, for special events, I come home and I spend the night here. And I'm reminded of all sorts of things because I'm in the room where I've kept most of my belongings. And, well, in looking at some of that stuff, I actually came across this binder right here. And this is my high school portfolio. And in high school, somehow my ID number was 365101. And so I thought, you know what? This is season 1, episode 1. So it makes sense that I would go through that today, which is kind of crazy how much work I put into my work in high school, which at the end of the day, I don't know how much that really helped. I mean, it was cool. I went to Chapman, went to film school, and that was a great time. But thanks to my parents, they instilled that I really needed to do well in school. So shout out to my parents, both my mom and my dad, for getting me to do my homework, which I didn't really want to do. And I'm blessed with a good memory, so that helped me with tests, even though I didn't really study too much. But yeah, this is the binder, and I don't really know what year. I think it was 2010, so it's been like a decade since I wrote this. And here we go. When you open it up, we have a cover letter. And it's funny, this is a fat cover letter. Even the cover letters that I write to get into, when I apply for jobs, they aren't even that long. So this is the sophomore writing portfolio. So I was a sophomore in high school. So this was 2010 and May 6th, 2010. So a few days after my birthday. So I believe I just turned 16. I was about 16. So I didn't know anything then. I didn't know crap. Which is kind of funny to think about. So yeah, let's get this going. To whom it may concern.
Welcome to the Man Cave.
Here we go. And welcome to the Man Cave, everyone who joins. Majestic Sammy, thank you for joining the Man Cave. So here we go. For the last couple years, I have attended high school in the United States of America, which, by the way, I have been skeptical of since I was 5 years old, but we'll get to that in a second. Pretty much, like after 9/11, we started having to sing like patriotic songs. So I was like, who are these people anyways? United States of America. Some cool people and some cool stuff happened in the States. So I have attended high school in the United States of America. During this time, I, along with my fellow peers, have been enrolled in the course known as English Honors. This course is an advanced course that takes students through an in-depth analysis of literature and its different styles and techniques. Some of which I don't even use, but through reading various works from a plethora of authors, I have obtained knowledge on the intricacy of the English language and the manners of how to respond to its involved, deeper meaning. That's so deep for this. Over these 2 years, I have progressed as a student of literature. This progression can be traced when at my previous work. Is that what I said? This progression can be traced when looking at my previous work. I forgot to write the word looking in there. Ultimately, my work will continue to progress until I'm ready to attend college. This portfolio will be a tool I can use to showcase my high school work as I prepare for higher levels of education. All right. So that's a lot of effort, I would say. I think a lot of people in my high school were just hanging out while I was writing stuff like this. As you read through the contents of the portfolio, there are a few items to notice and consider. I make a valiant effort to write the greatest essay that I can, and I'm constantly trying to improve my work. I try to not make the same mistakes twice. By reading into my essays, I attempt to mimic the teacher's instructions in class. I wrote that in there because I think I can get some brownie points in there, if I can really, really hammer home that I listened to the teacher. My writing has come a long way since my early childhood. With adults in my life, I would not have the writing abilities I currently have. I'd like to thank my parents for teaching me about the world of words. I think that's pretty clever. The world of words. At my young age, they are charged with introducing me to read, write, and analyze like a scholar. My future career outline has been planned. I will continue to strive to receive A's in my English classes. These are little things I hint in there. Once I have completed high school, I would like to attend a 4-year university and receive a degree, which I did. Hopefully the tools I have acquired in high school will aid me in college and my future profession. Well, they didn't teach me that I might burn out, but I don't know. Hindsight's 20/20, and it's a new year. What's up, Ligma? Alright, so that was the intro, which is kind of funny. Then, right here, I have a resume of what I've done, which includes 3 years of preschool, 6 years of elementary school, 3 years of middle school, and 2 years of high school. Yeah, my objective is to attend a 4-year university and achieve a degree in a subject I find interesting. Many subjects interest me, but I'm leaning towards a career in music and media, in the arts. So, there you go. I've worked hard in school my entire life. I constantly challenge myself and take the toughest classes on campus. My entire life I have been impacted by music. Hey, what's up, Twitch? and I have a love for it. I have practiced it and understand how it works. I am also interested in the media side of music and producing it. I was 15, 16 when I wrote this. I think I just turned 16. I've created many projects in the department. To showcase my talent, I recently submitted a movie to the Surf City Student Film Festival. I am determined to succeed in my future career. So there you go. So this is something I've wanted to do for a while, and I have it in writing right here in this beautiful Adam Mann portfolio book. Alright, so this right here, this was an activity where you have to write about 2 passions. So during my time spent alive, I have done a lot with my life to make it worthwhile. I try to do as many activities as I can in order to see what this world has to offer, to experience new challenges, and to become a well-rounded individual. That is... wow. What words. However, during my life, my activities have been dominated by the 2 subjects of music and sports. Throughout my entire life, I have been impacted by the role of music. My education in music started at the age of 5 years old when I was enrolled in a piano class at the Fountain Valley Yamaha Music School. So that's why I have a Yamaha guitar, and I also have a Yamaha piano. I went to Yamaha Music School, so I've kind of been a part of the Yamaha family. I continued to play at the school, learning different musical styles, primarily classical, which I've come to realize has impacted me in the music I produce still, especially when it comes to melodies and melodic structure. My love of contemporary music started at the age of 7 when I attended concerts of my cousin's alternative punk band Where's Leo, who you can still check out. From then on, I fell in love with the harmony between guitars, drums, and amps, and I knew that I would one day play the guitar. At the age of 11, I received my first guitar and started taking lessons. Through playing piano, I learned ropes of guitar rather easy. I have played many musical styles, but primarily enjoy playing rock music, from the Beatles era to today's K-rock. Shout out to the good old K-rock. I have also begun to write music and have begun trying to figure out the best methods on how to record my songs. I am looking to push my abilities to further heights. Throughout my musical studies, I have encompassed many art forms and have become very versatile when it comes to playing different styles of music. My desire has led me to push my talent to another level, and I will work hard to learn the musical pieces with my peers. I tried so hard in high school to start a band, and they all just turned out to become jam sessions, which was fine. But, shout out to all the people who jammed with me in high school. But there didn't really seem to be like the punk rock music scene that I was looking for. And looking back on it, I should have started it. But, hindsight is 20/20, and that is the year it is now. I understand that practice is vital when learning to perform a song. My ability to work with other people has been a trait I am proud of and will be used when learning, recording, and composing songs. I wrote that when I was 15 years old. So now I'm 25. And yeah, some things never change, right? I believe tomorrow I'm going to start writing music again. Alright, so that was music. Now we're going to talk about sports. Sports have also left a mark on what I have done. It is hard to find a sport that I have not tried. I have made an attempt to try all the various ways humans have come up with to entertain themselves while working out at the same time. That's pretty funny. That's a good way to describe a sport. I spent more time doing certain sports, however, than others. During my childhood, I primarily participated in swimming, gymnastics, and basketball. As I got older, I picked up sports such as baseball, roller skating, and snowboarding. I don't know why I put roller skating in there. I used to go to the roller rink in Fountain Valley, and that's actually how I heard All the Small Things for Blink 182, and they became my favorite band because I thought that was the catchiest song. That's right. I also watched a lot of football, Majestic Sammy, so watching football, I mean, the Rose Bowl's on right now, but I'm not watching it. But yeah, that used to be a tradition, watching the Rose Bowl. And the 49ers, I got a Colin Kaepernick signed football right here. So, I'm about to mention that right here. At the start of high school, I picked up the sport of lacrosse, and I'm currently on the lacrosse team at Huntington Beach High School. Not only do I like to play sports, I also watch professional sports. From football to baseball, basketball to cycling. That's right, I watched the Tour de France. And all the commentary in between. I have become a fan of watching competition. I believe this aspect in my life will lead to a healthy physical condition. I've accomplished a lot in my life, but in the future I expect to do even more. There is so much in the world to be discovered, so I am attempting to make the most of that opportunity. Although I will go out and partake in new adventures, I will always somehow be tied in with music and sports. So there you go. So that's what I hope to bring to this channel, is a little bit of music and a little bit of sports. Alright. Yeah, so if you've ever tuned into one of my streams before, a lot of it was music oriented. And sometimes I'll occasionally throw a game in there. So, in thinking about what I'm going to do for this channel, I just wanted to do every day is a new adventure. So, one day I'm going to make a song. I think one day I'm going to play a game. That way it's like episodic, and then we know what we're doing and we're going to do it. So, like today, I'm going through this. Tomorrow I'll be in the new man cave, which there's been 2 man caves so far. One was in downtown LA, and the other one was in Hollywood. So this one is kind of still in LA. I'm not going to give away my location, but one day I might. Alright. So now we're going to go into some of the essays I wrote in high school. And I put the best work of my life in here. What's up, Berserker? One of the admins on the channel stopping by. So sophomore writing portfolio. So right here we have another cover letter that I wrote. My freshman year in English honors, I was an interesting experience in which knowledge of the English arts was instilled in me. I was shocked to find out that the format that we had to do was completely different than the one we had been taught our entire lives. Okay. There were 2 essays I wrote during my freshman year which exemplify my change as a writer and how I improved. This can be seen when reading my Animal Farm essay and my Great Expectations essay. What's up, Fex Phoenix? So, my entire life, because I've been so into punk rock music, and really that's my philosophy on life, is I've really been into George Orwell writing, and so in school we had to read Animal Farm. So, I wrote this essay on Animal Farm, and I think out of all my high school work, this was the best thing I ever did. The Effects of Totalitarianism on a Farm is the title of it. And in my honors class, this got an A. So, like Bad Religion. Some of the great music artists of our time also like studied social studies in college, particularly like some of my influences, right? Like Rage Against the Machine graduated from Harvard, and Bad Religion also went to school first, and The Offspring. So that's Animal Farm. So let's read this. Totalitarianism is shown by George Orwell in the novel Animal Farm as being ruthless, cruel, and malicious. And I think I realized that the similarities between Animal Farm and the United States were prevalent. By using satire, Orwell shows how authority-hungry leaders can be volatile and dangerous. Orwell uses farm animals to portray the Russian Revolution, which is true, and the effect it has on its victims. The author uses targets of satire from the revolution to make his point. 3 of his targets of satire are the force and control of leaders, the propaganda squad, and the ignorance and blindness of workers. By using targets of satire, Orwell expresses how totalitarianism can take control of a nation in a pessimistic way. Now, as I said in the beginning of this portfolio, music and sports are the ultimate like things that I love, right? And the way that people consume that is largely on television. But television is state-run to a certain point because television channels broadcast to a nation. And so, kind of like the main networks, right? Like CBS, who I used to work for, NBC, ABC, and Fox, they kind of create like this culture of, hey, the working class matters. Which is funny because, like, if you look at like what their programming is, it's like workplace comedy, workplace drama, right? And so it's kind of funny because I was young and I realized that, television is like the most impactful thing that we have in our culture because millions of people are watching it. So if we can like dominate Twitch, I think that's where like change can happen. And I think like the youth of our nation is like gravitating in that direction, which is really cool. I got the emote only chat on. Let's can I turn that off? Let's see. I don't know how to turn this off. I'll figure it out. I'm doing this thing. All right. A significant target of satire in Animal Farm are dictators who get out of control and become cruel. That is a really scary idea, that someone can become a dictator. And then you have to listen to what this guy says, right? It's just one guy. Orwell uses a pig named Napoleon to portray the dictator who doesn't ask for the public's opinion. When Napoleon gains power, one of his first acts he does is announce, "From now on, the Sunday morning meetings will come to an end." That's like probably one of the scariest things when somebody's trying to silence the masses. But what's cool on Twitch or social media these days is there's a comment section, right? So if you disagree with someone on television, you can literally go there and say that. But in the past, what was being said on television, that was it. You have to go impact those people in real life. which led to a lot of wars. This ends the right for the animals to vote, just like people couldn't voice their opinion in Stalin's Russia before Stalin made all the decisions. Orwell despises no democracy because the public does not get to express their opinion. Satire is also used to show how tyrants use force to gain complete control. But, I mean, if it's one person or a collective body of work, like in America, that's kind of like what Bad Religion and a lot of punk rock bands have been saying over the years, you know? Is keeping them in check. But for the first time, right, we have the ability as the sheep, I guess you can say, to express ourselves in the television medium, which is really cool. All right, so Napoleon assembles a team of dogs to execute his every will. First, he uses the dogs to eradicate Snowball from Animal Farm, just like Stalin used other political parties' help to isolate Trotsky from his party and make him leave. The job of the dogs then becomes showing authority and threatening to harm and harming anyone who doesn't do what Napoleon tells them or anyone who doesn't work hard. As the dogs do in the phrase, the dogs promptly tore their throats out. That's the quote I picked. Forced labor was part of Stalin's government, and eventually Stalin's government would kill all who didn't do what they liked. Alright, this next paragraph is about propaganda. Another aim Orwell has is propaganda used in totalitarian governments. So there's Squealer is a form of propaganda on Animal Farm. The pig goes around and talks to all the animals, telling them things such as, "Surely, comrades, you do not want Jones back," and persuades the animals to trust Napoleon. This oral persuasion is just like the speakers of Stalin and Hitler. Speakers traveled the countryside and spoke with conviction and great influence. I'm trying to... I mean, that sounds like what, Twitch could become. The other propaganda on the farm was Moses. Moses guaranteed that there would be the reward of Candy Mountain after you die if you worked hard. Saying convincing statements such as, "It is situated somewhere up in the sky, a little distance from the clouds." This represents the hope in the religion that people had that the government worked hard to persuade did not exist, which shows Orwell's distaste of government controlling the beliefs of people. Complete control could not exist if it were not for propaganda. So these are all things that you can look for in like television, video gaming, music. And then third, Orwell intends to show the blindness of the workers. A major part of the ignorant working class is the herd of sheep who relayed Napoleon's message, 4 legs good, 2 legs bad, without thought, as well as the changed line, 4 legs good, 2 legs better. Many people who listened to Stalin and Hitler agreed with what they said without thinking it over for themselves. Orwell believes people should make decisions on their own behalf. That's why you gotta do what you want. And I think, I don't know, in high school I was so focused on school that really kids should be able to do like what they want, and to work kids like this, to write essays like this, it's demanding on someone's brain. So yeah, that's a little bit of that essay. Orwell accuses people who do not pursue their goals in life and accept that they are shattered by their government. So, you gotta do what you want to do. Don't let the government tell you how to live your life. But that was something I was thinking about when I was 15 or 16 years old, and I thought that the best way to do that was through television, because I saw that like that's where like the most of the discussion happens, right? So I got an A for this, which is really, really cool. Yeah, and going through this, let's see what else. I got a B- on this From Little Expectations to Great essay. I got a B-. I think if you read any part of Great Expectations, you should deserve an A. 'Cause that book is... I honestly think that book is trash. And I think... what's his name? Pip. Pip is the weakest man I've ever met. He can't get over this girl, and so he's like severely emo. And his benefactor's like, I'm gonna spoil it, I don't even care. He has a benefactor that moves into the city who's actually a crook, and then he gets all butthurt about it. But I got a B- in this essay that in my English honors class, Mrs. Morehouse, shout out to her, gave me a B-. This was the most painful time. I actually read Great Expectations. So yeah, that's it. I don't write stuff like this. Like in the email that I write now, if it's more than a paragraph, no one's gonna read that, you know? During one's life, a person learns about life and the goals, values, and achievements they would like to acquire in it. An experience Charles Dickens relays with the life of Pip in Great Expectations. So then it was marked, what experience? What? Pip develops. So I said Pip gains values, but I guess develops them was the word that was changed. Does it matter if you gain value or develop it? I don't know. As he learns to judge others about the world, the people closest to him and himself. His life changes when Pip goes from a confined, simple child to an upper-class, arrogant gentleman, to eventually a caring, thoughtful man with knowledge. See, I didn't even agree with that. Pip is a bitch. I said it. He really is. But, you know, you gotta write what the teacher wants you to write. So, history contains social class and many kinds of culture. This is the last paragraph. In most cases, citizens remain within their own social class. But as Orwell says, Dickens' imagination overtakes everything like a weed. And the story of Pip's expectations reflects just that. What does Pip experience that each class contains a different view on life? Pip, however, learns to blend the two social classes together. He takes the negatives from each class, unsophisticated manners and snobbish attitude. This leaves behind caring, refined gentlemen. Dickens shows through Great Expectations the different elements social classes have to offer. Everyone who belongs in social class, no matter what the level, is human and the same. Which I think is one of the cool things about Twitch or YouTube or any kind of social media is everyone has the same kind of voice. You're all together. But class remains definitely a thing, and today's society. And hopefully one day that will change when everybody gets what they want, right? But it's kind of weird. Like, the motivation to do well in school is kind of saying, hey, I value material possessions, right? Because, well, it's like get ahead religion. And so, while I was working really hard and wanting a career in music and media, I kind of wish that, I spent less time worrying about this and more time worrying about being in a band. But, you can't change the clock. Alright, the once and future king. Alright, so this is about Merlin turns... Yeah. I got a B on this essay. I got a lot of B's in high school. A's and B's. Hardly a C. A lot of A's and B's. Then I wrote Pain's Effect on the Human Mind. I got a B on this essay. Dealing with Night from Elie Wiesel. I didn't read the book, to be honest. I wrote an essay on a book I didn't read because I thought that I knew enough about the Holocaust. Like, as I myself am Jewish. But it's like, I didn't really want to, read another sad story about it, so I didn't read it. Like, I was in high school, I was trying to get girls to make out with me. So, I didn't read this book, but I wrote an essay on it. The opening paragraph from Miss Nilsson's class. The atrocities that occurred during the Holocaust of World War II greatly impacted the behaviors of the people involved. Yeah, obviously. Cool. Alright, what else did I do in high school that was so impressive? See, this thing, I didn't help me, like, get into any colleges, that's for sure. I didn't really know. Here, this is the greatest math test I've ever taken in my life, right here. I got a 95A, and for the life of me, I don't even know what a log is. I think a log is like a fallen tree in the woods, right? Look at that. That, my friends, is the most impressive thing I've ever done. Look, and I even wrote out the problems on the back. If I looked into it, I probably could figure it out again. But what a waste of time that was, learning math. Like, to a certain extent, like, algebra, everyone uses algebra, but, like, as soon as you got onto pre-calculus, like, at a certain point you gotta ask yourself, am I gonna use this in life? I actually think a lot of the smartest kids in school, which was not me, realized that they weren't going to use it in life, and then took the easier math class. Let's see. I made this booklet called Conic Sections, and I drew a smiley face out of shapes. Look at this work. Formulas, discriminant parabolas, circles, ellipses, hyperbolas. It's just like a book of formulas. And what was I doing? Like, how much work do you expect from, like, you know, a teenager? Now I'm pretty sure there's an app where you can type in, like, a math equation, right? Yep, that's high school for you. I've participated in many service events. I have done this through working with religious groups, school, scouting, and on my own accord. I'm a participant of the Saved Our Fur Club at the high school. Some organizations I have helped include the OC Food Bank. That was cool because they grow their own food. Second Harvest. No, that's the one that grows their own food. Walk to End Genocide. And the Bolsa Chica Wetlands, which you can still go see. Here we go. At the Model United Nations conference, I got an award. The Secretaries General and Chairpersons of the Third Committee Award. Afghanistan. I would represented Afghanistan. And I got an award. That's pretty cool. What else? I got an award for Best Editor and Scariest Pirate in a Shakespearean Role Award in high school, which was really cool. My crush was in my played the role of Juliet. I don't know. I wasn't really cool in high school. It's hard to look back because I was cool, but I was too dumb to realize it. You know what I'm saying? And then right here, here's my grades. At least so far, yeah, see, B's and A's. So yeah, that's what I did in high school a little bit. But one of the coolest things that happened in high school was I realized that I like video and making music. And I made my first dubstep song in high school. This is interesting. I took a PSAT, and you can see that I scored 95% higher than most 10th graders. That's what it says. But I think my SAT score was like 2,000, so I don't even know, like... Yeah, okay. Yeah, here it is. Projected SAT score range is 570 to 670. 550 to 650, 550 to 670. So if you round out 600, I guess that makes sense. 2,000 out of 2,400 was what I got. Yeah, so that's a little bit of what I did in high school. This is the room that I spend most of my time in, learning music, making demos. A lot of guitar demos that maybe I'll release one day. But that is a little bit of my thought process. And, you know, my whole love of music and media, it started when I was like 5 years old, watching the election on TV, realizing that's how everyone was getting their information. So now, I mean, the hope is with this channel, you know, we can do things the way I'll do all the things that I want to do, and then hopefully people will enjoy watching it. Whether it's making music, playing games, or talking with cool people about the entire world or what's going on around us. So yeah, new year, new start. This was myself from my childhood home. And you can see this is the Blue Room. So starting tomorrow, I'm going to be broadcasting from my room, my new place in the new man cave, which is in LA. So thank you everyone for tuning in, and this will be up on YouTube, and highlights are going to be on Instagram, and I think I want to put some stuff on TikTok. Trying to figure that out, maybe even Twitter. But that's at Adam is the Man, and then I'm just Adam Man. I have a record out if you want to listen to that. That is called AM currently. That's out on all music storefronts as just Adam Man. Yeah, and this is the logo to look out for. And that's it. Thank you, everyone. All right. Have a great new year, everyone. It's the start of something that I've been dreaming up, as you can tell, since the beginning. So, have a good night.